The work to be performed in the sprint is mapped out during sprint planning. The plan is created through the collaborative work of the entire Scrum team. Sprint planning is time-boxed to a maximum of 8 hours for a 1-month sprint. For the shorter sprints, the event is usually shorter too. The Scrum Master ensures the event takes place and that the attendees understand its purpose. The Scrum Master teaches the Scrum team to keep it within the time box. Sprint planning answers questions like what can be delivered in the increment resulting from the upcoming sprint, how will the work needed to deliver the increment be achieved, and what can be done in this sprint. The development team works to forecast the functionality that will be developed during the sprint. The product owner discusses the objective that the sprint should achieve and the product backlog items that, if completed, would achieve in the sprint goal. The entire Scrum team collaborates on understanding the work of the sprint. The input to this meeting is the product backlog, the latest product increment, projected capacity of the development team during the sprint, and the development team's past performance. The number of items selected from the product backlog is solely up to the development team. Only the development team can assess what it can accomplish over the upcoming sprint. During sprint planning, the Scrum team also crafts a sprint goal. The sprint goal is an objective that will be met within the sprint through the implementation of the product backlog. The goal provides guidance to the development team on why it is building the increment. So how will the chosen work get done? Having set the sprint goal and selected the product backlog items, the development team decides how it will build this functionality into a done product increment during the sprint. The product backlog items selected plus the plan for delivering them is called the sprint backlog. The development team usually starts by designing the system and the work needed to convert the product backlog into a working product increment. The size and estimated effort of the work may vary. However, enough work is planned during sprint planning for the development team to forecast what it believes it can do in the upcoming sprint. Work planned for the first days of the sprint is decomposed by the end of this meeting, typically into units of 1 day or less. The development team self-organizes to undertake the work in the sprint backlog, both during sprint planning and as needed throughout the sprint. The product owner can help to clarify the selected product backlog items and make trade-offs. If the development team determines it has too much or too little work, it may renegotiate the selected product backlog items with the product owner. The development team may also invite other people to attend to provide technical or domain advice. By the end of sprint planning, the development team should be able to explain to the product owner and Scrum Master how it intends to work as a self-organizing team to accomplish the sprint goal and create the anticipated increment. In the next video, we'll continue discussing the sprint goal.